darkness to defeat. I burn. A court of mist and fury. Hello. Good morning, my beautiful fairies. Good morning to those of you who are new, and for those of you coming back, oh my god, good morning. I haven't seen you in forever. Thank the cauldron you're okay. This book has me in a tailspin. Sir Maas is literally using all of her magic, all of her fairy magic that she has. I know she has it in this book. I promise you, I'm not going crazy. It's got love and PTSD and everything a growing fan base needs. I knew that. Shut up, I can do literally whatever I want. Shh. Editing Natalie is being a little bit pushy, just a little bit. I hear she has her own series coming out, so like Lanad plus something. Maybe you guys should go check it out. Maybe it could be cool. Then there's like a new series I'm doing, or she's doing. Sorry. Check it out after this video, maybe. Anyway, A Court of Mist and Fury. Second book in the series, and it is so good, guys. It is so good. Right, we're gonna do this just like normal, just like always, baby. We're gonna do description first, and then we're gonna do the review, and then we're gonna do spoilers. So let's get into it. Feyre is immortal. She has to rescue her lover Tamlin from a sadistic fairy queen, and now possesses fae powers beyond imagining. But Feyre cannot forget the destruction she wrought to save her beloved, nor the bargain she made with Rhysand, High Lord of the feared Night Court. And as Feyre is drawn deeper into Rhysand's world, she senses a dark pain in his heart that echoes her own. For good or ill, Feyre must embrace the changes within her. War is looming, and only the full might of her new powers can save the people she loves. So this book, the twist, the turns, the love, the hatred, the dread, all of it. I mean, I can't possibly fit this all into one video. Editing Natalie, can you just show the people how long this video is uncut? Can you? Come on. I'll say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you. I mean, would you look at that? I know you guys don't have the time and attention span for that, so hopefully I can cut this thing down to 20 minutes. But let's go over characters first. It's been a while since I've done a video like this, but there are a lot of characters in this thing, and we need to go over characters first. So Feyre, we love Feyre. We've known about Feyre since the last book. Feyre is super chill. Yeah, she's completely traumatized. I mean, she's trying to heal, but certain parties involved are just not helping the case. They're not helping the cause. And she's also trying to figure out why her love, her bedazzlement for that special someone, you know, Tammy boy, is kind of running thin. As is her fucking patience for this man. And so is the audience patience with this man, to be honest. Most people, by the end of this book, absolutely despise Tamlin, who's also from the last book. Why are you here if you do not know these people? Tamlin in the last book versus Tamlin in this book, they're two separate characters. They're two completely different people. Tamlin from the last book is like nurturing and sweet and tries to take his time teaching Feyre how to be a new person, and Tamlin from this book can be summarized by saying that he hates Feyre, doesn't appreciate Feyre. What's the word? What's the word? What's the controlling? He's super controlling. He is a man baby, and I'm not sure why Sarah J. Maas decided to make this term, but she had to make room for Rhysand, and we get it, and people love Rhysand. But Sarah, what happened to Tamlin? Before we get to Rhysand, we're going to talk about some side characters, which is mostly just like her sisters and Lucien. What are they doing? Well, Not a whole lot, not a great deal. Her sisters kind of help out with the plot. Lucien is kind of a hindrance, a hamburger hindrance in this fucking book. Lucien is on most people's shit list by the end of this book, and I can't blame them, because honestly, he was kind of on mine. There's quite a few people who are Lucien stans, especially for the rest of the series, but for this one, he tries to drag his bare ass across the floor and get Feyre some help, but he really doesn't. He doesn't, because just like a dog dragging their ass across the floor, it accomplishes very little except spreading shit. So, you know. Then we got the Night Court. Can't really talk about them too much in the non-spoiler section, but we've got Mor, we've got Amram, we've got Cassian, we've got Azriel. Oh, they sound like My Little Ponies, but I love them nonetheless. Now we get to the all-star of this book, and that is Rhysand! Rhysand is a couple things. He could tell you himself. He is smart and cunning and beloved and handsome, and his words, not mine, but he is all of those things in this book. This man checks all the green boxes, a green flag, if you will. Like, I don't know, the guy who runs around with green and red flags, if he saw this man, he would have to get 3 or 4 green flags just to carry around this man at all times. And I cannot stop the shipping. The shipping is hard in this book, man. Feyre and Rhysand, yes please. And they're so cute in this book. If you couldn't already figure out that these two were going to be romantic after book 1, I really don't know what to tell you. Like, you're not going to like the rest of this review, because I know he was brought up as like a second romantic character, and now he is a second romantic character, but really he's her first romantic character because of how they completely ruined Tamlin. So Rhysand is really the only option, but he's a good option. He's the best option. A whole lot of this review is going to be in the spoiler section, so I hope you guys are prepared for that, and I hope you guys stick through that, because honestly, I have a lot to talk about. And I'm gonna link a summary of the book in case you do not want to read 700 pages, or you don't want to spend 4 to 5 days listening to an audiobook. Both are understandable. It's a thick book. It's a thick book. The way characters are written in this book is really, really well, honestly. Every character feels really well-rounded. Nobody feels like a shoo-in, other than Tamlin, but I think he's supposed to be going through something. But either way, like, the fact that all these characters have overlapping paths, and they've got, like, past histories, and they've got all this stuff going on, and conflicts and romances and relationships of all sorts, like, it really makes the world feel well-rounded. I can't think of a better thing for a book than having 5 to 6 characters who are their own people in their own respect. Something like that can it can really make or break a book, having enough characters with enough personality traits and enough conflicts and stuff already going on or have had gone on. Like, that kind of stuff is really what makes the book good. And this book is good. I cannot do anything but compliment Sarah J. Maas on her work so far. I have already read a few other of the books, and honestly, I'm up to the 5th book, and I'm very excited because there is a 6th book coming out sometime next year, I believe, and I'm so excited. I think the reason that she has such a big fan base and such a dedicated fan base of everything from artists to cosplayers to individual fan fiction writers. Like, all of this is stuff that she's honed in on characters' strengths and personalities to make them likable or unlikable, to the point where people want to create content around them. And that really has made the fan base something quite admirable. I have seen other fan bases try to tackle things like this, but unfortunately, because of the characters or because of the plot or because of the conflict, they kind of fail and burn. But with Sarah J. Maas, she's just kind of made, like, this era around her characters that plays into everybody's strengths or weaknesses. Again, Tamlin really plays into his weaknesses, but because of that, people understand his character. Anyway, that is my broad review of the book, but we're gonna get into spoilers now. First of all, putting the book down, serious talk. Serious talk, Maas fans. What happened to Lucien in this book? Lucien is not a bad guy, but he is a guy that makes bad decisions, and I don't know what to do about it. I have already read up to Silver Flames, as I said, and this is like his worst depiction. The second book, it goes off the chart with the Lucien spam of bad spam. He tries very poorly to get Tamlin to help his girlfriend, his fiance, his soon-to-be wife, that with all her issues. And he, again, the dog on the carpet kind of thing of like, Tamlin, will you please let your girlfriend outside? No, she's my girlfriend. Get the f*** away from me. I'm sorry, I'll try again later. Like, this is a nothing, Lucien. You've done nothing. You've accomplished nothing. And even Feyre thinks to herself, like, why is he not helping me? He is my friend, but he is failing me. And everybody at this point has to be like, he is kind of failing. Like, he's kind of failing her right now. But don't even get me started on Tampon's behavior as a whole, which is what the fandom calls him, by the way, is Tampon. I will be using those interchangeably. It's either Tamlin or Tampon, but this man is getting zero after this, so maybe something else would be better. Tampon literally drops the ball, drops it at every single part that he possibly can. Feyre's like, please, do not lock me inside this house. And he goes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lock you inside this house. And then she goes, I mean it. And he goes, I won't. And then he leaves and locks her inside the house. Like, brother, please be so f***ing for real with me right now. I mean, there are certain points of the book where genuinely Tamlin could have fucking killed her. Like, genuinely could have killed her. And he doesn't, I mean, he seems bothered for about 2 pages, and then he's like, actually, I forgot what I just did. You're fine, right? You can stay inside. This man traumatizes his already traumatized girlfriend and then expects her to put on this pretty white gown and marry him. But thankfully she doesn't have to, because who comes to the rescue? Rhysand! That's right, you're gonna love this man. This man is the best. Rhysand, spoiler, is Feyre's mate. And he can hear her. He can hear her the whole time as she is pleading and going insane, and he cannot stand it. I mean, he's willing to let her live if she is happy. He says so, and it's a really nice gesture, but she's not happy, and he sees that, so he rescues her from this nightmare that she is living in a couple of times, to be honest. He rescues her a couple of times. And then Tamlin, after this first few visits, is like, you're mind controlling my girlfriend. And Rhysand is like, you're an asshole. You don't deserve her. And they go, pew, 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 but like words, because they can't sort of fight their lords or high fae or something. I mean, look, when you get a few books down from this, Tamlin kind of like learns what he's done, and he's gone through all this tragedy surrounding his actions in this book, and it's just, he gets very depressed. Tampon is a very depressed man, and it's very hard to hear. There's a lot of people in the fandom who a couple books from now think that he should get some sort of redemption of some sort. Do I agree with that? Maybe we'll save that for like January when I finally get to that book. But anyway, we are getting into the Bat Boys and the Night Crew now, so let's get into it. Cassian and Azriel, how would I describe my favorite Bat Boys? They are bros. They are straight up bros. They are so cool. They are like if frat bros like ruled a country. if frat bros were like cool. The three bat boys, being Rhysand, Cassian, and Azrael, are like brothers with each other, and they're so cool together. Like, it's honestly really nice to see them and these character traits in books, because honestly, the way that Cassian and Azrael and Rhysand chat with each other reminds them a lot of like how my boyfriend reacts with his friends, and like what they talk about and all that. And it's really funny because they act like real people, which certain people may say the Spring Court lacks. But the Bat Boys are just bros. They're just bro guys. And a lot of fans have the hots for them. A lot of fans have the hots for these boys.
I'm thirsty. Refreshing.
I mean, they do so many cute things. The whole crew does, like, traditions during the solstices or during holidays, or like all this stuff that they do together that I don't really want to get into, just in case I'm saying stuff from the other books. But like, they are so cute together, and sometimes this includes the other two members of the court before Feyre, which is like Amren and Morgan. Now, Amren and Morgan are not as important in this book as they are the next book. Maybe Amren, because she has to do with the whole book situation and some of the trips, and like, that's pretty important. She does important things. And Morgan's more, how do I say this? She's more important with like the mountain place, like the the Court of Nightmares. But honestly, they're all such good friends. I mean, they're better friends than I think I would be. Personally, I might be telling on myself there, because like, they all know that Feyre is Rhysand's mate, and yet none of them bitches say nothing. They don't say nothing. If I had that information, if I had information that one of my friends' like mates was here and they were living and they were like around, I would not keep my mouth shut for shit. This doesn't make me a bad person, I hope, because honestly, the fact that they don't tell Feyre pisses her off. In the end, she gets really mad about that for a couple days, so maybe they should have told her, at least tried to hint towards it, but they're really good friends for keeping it a secret. But back to Amren for a second, because part of her story is getting the first book from the Summer Court in Tarquin, who is a very small character in this book. He is the High Fae of the Summer Court, and he's so chill. He's so nice. And they have to go in and they have to betray this man who is so nice to them, to steal this book from them, and it breaks my heart. I hated that chapter. It was maybe my least favorite part of the whole book, was just reading about them betraying him and going and finding the book. Not to mention that they almost drown. Like, that part sucks too, but like, stealing from someone who I bet would have given it to them, like, he would have given them the book. I'm almost 95% sure. But it's heartbreaking because they were on good terms. Rhysand and Feyre were on good terms with Tarquin, and they just were like, nah, he's not chill like that, and he is chill like that. But the book is such a big plot point in this thing, and it doesn't even work. They spend a lot of this book looking for the book to stop the cauldron, because the cauldron is being used by Hybern to like do bad things. So they want to make the cauldron inactive by using this sacred book, but then what do you know? It doesn't work. And then Nesta and Elaine get turned into Fae people, and it's like, oh no, now they're traumatized. And they are. If you read the third book, they're absolutely traumatized. And then don't even get me started on Nesta in the fifth book. She's gone, bro. She's gone. And by the way, I already knew that Nesta and Elaine got turned into Fae people before I even started reading the second book, because this fandom cannot keep spoilers for shit. Like, they cannot stop. And I get it, the book came out a long time ago, it's your fault if you haven't read it, but like, holy shit, man, like, no fan art of Nesta and Elaine before Fae people. Literally every piece of fan art I possibly see of those two, they're already Fae and they're already hanging out with their lovers. And I'm like, I didn't know. And the betrayal of Tampon and Lucien when they sell out her family and then they try to get her back, but Feyre's too smart for that. She's got street smarts. She's got street smarts. You know what, bro? I will be your wife. He's mind controlling me. Remove my armband, remove the tattoo. I am through with it. And then the king is like, okay, boo, 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 boo. And then she's like, I'll go home with you, Tamlin. I'll go home with you. And Lucian's like, and she's like, because guess what? She's fooling them. She's now a spy, a speculative spy for the Night Court. And I'm so happy that Sarah did not make this character another idiot in the final moments, because by breaking the bond that she got in the last book, she really could have like made a super bad decision. But it's been revealed that they already thought this through and that she's going in and she has a different tattoo which she just glamours and she hides because they got married. They got married together. They knew each other for like 4 months and they got married. I guess they're mates, so it's okay. But anyway, the fact that they had this plan really gave me a sigh of relief, because if they ended it on a bad cliffhanger, I don't even know what I would have done. But the implications for the next few books that it's exactly what you think it is. Alright, I'm not gonna get into it. Alright, before we leave spoilers, I'm gonna talk a little bit about everybody's favorite chapters of this book, which is chapters 54 and 55. Let's start with chronological. We will start with chapter 54. 54 is about Rhysand and his time under the mountain, as well as his time after they got freed from under the mountain. And it is a big monologue, basically, with a few cut-up points where they describe the action going on, about what happened, basically, this whole time with Rhysand. She already knows that they're mates at this point, so that's not the surprise. He's telling her this because she needs to know how long he's known they were mates. It seems like since Feyre was about 12 or 14.
Bombastic side-eye. Criminal offensive side-eye.
She's been getting like dreams about her life and her actions, and like seeing her and being like, oh, what am I seeing? Who is this? And he sees her paint all these things, and the big reveal is that, as Feyre told him earlier, that when she was young, to make herself feel better, she would paint things for her and her sisters, and the thing she painted for herself was the night sky. And then he would think about the night sky when he was in prison, and so anyway, this kind of lines up perfectly and just proves that they're really in touch, because he's like, I thought of the night sky and then I would see you paint the night sky, and I was like, oh my goodness. I'm not explaining this very well. I'm very far past this in the books. But it is crazy. If Sarah J. Maas really had this all planned out, she's insane. She's crazy, because like this goes back before the first book even started. Like Rhysand was seeing her before the book even started and has continued to see her the whole time. He explains how in Calamai, which is something that happens in the last book, that's actually where we first met Rhysand, that he knows she's gonna be there because he knows she's in the spring court. So he actually finds a way to get out of under the mountain to go see her in Calamai, and he finds her, and there's the bad things that happen, but the first thing he actually says to her is, oh, there you are. I've been looking for you. Thank you for finding her for me. This is actually super interesting because he really has been. He's been looking for her the whole time, and he finally sees her, and he's really just saying that. Like, that's just how he feels. But for her, it felt like maybe an excuse to get her out of the situation. I don't know. It's a really cute moment, and it's kind of one of those moments that you go, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, he knew. He knew the whole time. And that's the moment that it hits that, like, Sarah J. Maas is an evil mastermind. And he makes a bargain with her when she's under the mountain He makes that bargain with her when he's in the mountain, and he goes home after they're all freed, and he thinks, I'm gonna let her out of the bargain. Like, I think she's happy where she is. She doesn't have to see me. It'll just cause her more stress. So he's like, I'm gonna leave her alone after this. And so he is genuinely going to do that. However, he hears her on her wedding day to Tamlin and be like, please, anybody, somebody get me out of here. And he shows up with the big boom and he's like, oh, I'm here to take you away. And she's like, oh no. Even though she was gonna say no to that wedding. And it kind of just goes in like, what happened? And I think it's a very cute moment. The chapter that everybody loves and everybody adores, and I don't blame them because it's a really, really good chapter, and I will definitely be listening to it again. It's really a depth of like situation that you don't see from a lot of books. Like, the planning involved is something that I don't see, at least in a lot of books. Like, most books don't go beyond this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. This book goes, this happens, this happens, this happens, stop, go back, this happened, pew, 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 pew. Like, she jumps around, but she makes it all make sense. And then chapter 55 is just a sex chapter. We all know how I feel about sex chapters at this point. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. So does this pass the Natalie stamp of approval on this sex chapter? Yes, I think Sarah J. Maas does in fact make the sex make sense. These characters have been building up their relationship, they've been building up their lust, they've been building up their attraction, and finally, after this big thing where he tells her everything, they go and they have sex. And is it hot? Yes, it's mostly always hot, you know, whatever. But I think it makes sense, which is really nice because sometimes you don't see that from books. I'm not really gonna talk about anything else, so let's head back from spoilers into our regular review. I'm sorry if the camera has been moving around, by the way. Sometimes I sit back, sometimes my foot is under me. I've been trying to make it somewhat steady, but then you've got the light in my face, and I don't know what this is gonna look like till it's edited, but hopefully it's not that bad. Also, welcome back! This was a great book. Don't you agree, Natalie? No? No? Well, oh, sorry, you're saying yes. You're saying yes. It is a good book, and I hope the video has been good too. Great. Great, that's all I needed to hear. Sorry for all the back and forth between me and my editor, which we all know she's lovely. It's just that I'm trying to figure out how to do these videos, to be honest. You might have seen that my videos are getting better and better and better through the edits that I do, but I'm still trying to find the way that I'm editing these videos and the format that I'm going for. So excuse me if it kind of jumps around a little bit. Certain videos are highly edited, certain videos are lowly edited. Like, I'm just trying to find the groove. And all of that is to kind of reach my goals for the next couple of years, which I'll get into it in December. But basically the goal for the end of October is to hopefully hit 250. So if you did like this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm gonna give this book a 9 out of 10 because it is a phenomenal book. I didn't like the cliffhanger, which is why it's not a 10 out of 10. It's a good cliffhanger when you read the other books, but I didn't like it in the moment, which is why it's going to drop to a 9 out of 10. One of the books in this series is a full 10 out of 10, and honestly, you're all gonna be very disappointed. You're all gonna hate me because you're gonna say, Natalie, that should not be a 10 out of 10, and I'm gonna say, I really don't care. But yes, 9 out of 10. I don't have any author information. That is all going to be in my ACOTAR book, which is the last book review I did for Sarah J. Maas. That was 7 months ago? Was there even any music in that video? I'm so sorry. I'm still not going to put any author information in this video. I'm going to do a huge review on ACOTAR when it's all finished. Hopefully that'll be like February, but for now, you can go back and watch that if you'd like. If not, she has a bio and an Instagram and all this stuff that you could go check out. As always, tell me in the comments if you do like this book, and if you haven't read the book, tell me if you're going to read the book after watching this review. I always love hearing from you guys. That being said, my name is Natalie, and I will see you all next Friday at 8 a.m. or whenever you watch these videos. I love you all. Goodbye.